just heard the news today. It seems my life is gonna change. 'Cause we reached the 30th episode now. Soul of the Dragon down my veins with arms wide open. Under the sunlight.
Oh, you're still going.
No, I'm good right now. What
Okay.
is good, Rangers of the Grid fans and folks?
What's up?
We on episode 30. We about to talk about the Soul, the Dragon, a little Tommy Oliver for yo. Heck yeah,
Yep.
dog. Put that in the cameras. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
let him know. Old man Tommy, literally with the same jacket as Logan. Weird. Anyways,
Right? Actually, I feel like this is more like a Bane. It was more Bane like Dark Knight Rises. It's got like the fur.
Fuck Bane. But anyways, we'll edit that
Whoa,
part out at the beginning
whoa.
of the episode. And I know. Clean, what are you talking about? Forget that, man.
No, it's staying in.
But yeah, man, we're on episode 30.
Yeah.
And it's feeling good. Last week was all about light speed rescue. And I feel like that was a fun episode. And we had talked before about like, when we hit I don't even want to call it milestones, but like we hit these, 30s, right?
Yeah.
We hit the anniversary episodes, we'd go over the anniversary, but we actually did that like in the beginning of this podcast.
That was like what second episode?
Mm-hmm.
But then plus we've also kind of run into like the whole thing of like now we're like out of anniversary episodes.
Yeah, I know. Like
So
we're
it's just
we're gonna start hitting like, oh, this is the 50th episode of like Mighty Morphin. The 100th episode, which actually would be kind of cool.
which would just be honestly probably just be some random episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like
That's why I think it's funny.
because what like episode like because season one had like what 60 episodes or something like that.
I think so.
I bought the box sets. I remember like or the DVDs when they came out. Remember when they were like re-releasing when they actually it's before Netflix.
Oh yeah, and people still buy those today like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Um,
especially now because they're doing the Sentai ones too. So it's like a lot of people are getting those so they can see like the difference of things.
yeah. Um, I'm excited about today's episode. Um,
Mhm.
but I was gonna jump into this real quick. So I thought it was interesting. We're getting good traffic right now on Instagram.
I saw.
Yeah, we're getting good traffic. I did put up a couple since this last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I put up like a little reel about, a little Tommy collection I got going on
Mm-hmm.
one of my detolfs. But then I put up a one about another fandom that I collect a ton of, which is, anyone that really knows me knows I've always been in like wrestling and wrestling figures.
Mm-hmm.
And I collected the Hasbro style figures, and I showed off two of my cases, and I still have more to put up.
Yeah.
So that's been getting us actually some good traffic. It looks like we're getting followed by like some more toy and figure people.
Dope. I mean,
You
we're at
know, we're
1,050 now.
I know. And we still got to do something about the 1,000 episode
We do,
or a thousand
hey,
followers.
I'll put it like this. We'll have something out this week, this upcoming week.
Yeah. Yeah, we almost like have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got to put something out. But yeah, that's getting a lot of good traffic there right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen, but on like social media right now, the cast from Cosmic Fury has been posting way more ever since the
Yeah,
actor
because
strike
actor
stuff.
strike is over. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's cool, but it just kind of sucks.
I
Like,
mean,
no, it's cool
th-
because we're getting it, and
but
it's like,
but think about it like this: Netflix is an evergreen network,
no, I know.
so it's always on there. And truth be told, oh, the premiere already happened. Well,
Well,
technically, it can
unless
be
they sell it.
whenever.
I mean,
I mean, that's not
it
that, but that's not what's happening in the right now.
no, I know, but it's just one of those things. Like I look at all these projects now and like movies and shows that have come out that honestly haven't done good because they couldn't be promoted like they
Mm-hmm.
should. And
Mm-hmm.
look at how it suffered, you know. And it kind
Yeah.
of sucks. Like,
Well, what sucks though too, like Netflix contracts are different. Like that season was bought and paid for already.
no, I know.
That season's bought and paid for. Um, I mean, if it gets a jump now, like honestly, it helps it
Oh, 100%.
because it hasn't even been like a full year. It hasn't even been multiple months, really.
Yeah,
So they have plenty of like time, and any promotion's better than none, right?
100%.
And you can tell the cast was like stoked now that they can.
Oh yeah.
Like they've even been getting sentimental about it.
Well, because it's also too, it's one of those things. It's like you do all this stuff, and it's like, especially with a show like Rangers, I feel like when you're on this team, like a show like that, you can really become, and sometimes for some people, it's or some of the actors, it does become like a family, like because they're around
Yeah.
each other for so much, and especially a team like Cosmic Fury or Dino Fury, whichever ones you want to refer to them as. Bro, they
Hmm.
were together for 3 seasons. We haven't had that since Mighty Morphin. And
Well,
this is
yeah,
the
and
thing. And unlike Mighty Morphin, this cast has been there all 3 seasons. It's not like just half, and then here's some new half, and then we're gonna swap this one out too. Like, this is all 3 seasons. The
well, yeah,
most
that's why I
consistent
think
cast.
they feel a certain way about it. And truth be told, too, man, we've said it before, and that we have to go off it because it's all we got.
Yeah,
This sounds like it's it.
yeah,
You know, sounds like it's it, and that's the way they're going about it, which I don't blame them.
hmm,
Like, what
yeah,
else? Like, us as fans, I believe we can go off what ifs, what's
yes,
next, possibilities. The actors, like we've talked to some of them before, they don't know.
exactly.
They don't
They don't
know,
know
bro.
unless it's actually happening. And even then, when it is actually happening, you won't know until you actually get there. So,
Because you could be cut. Like,
mhm. You
even
could
like
be
on a,
uninvited.
oh no,
You,
isn't that hilarious?
you could be uninvited like the Titanium Ranger.
They're like, you know what? You weren't really in it that much, anyways. You'd be all right. Hey,
Yeah.
we can still put you in without putting you in.
Hmm.
But let's get into the Soul of the Dragon, Marcus. So, talk to me real quick.
Soul of the
When did
Dragon.
when did this come out? What year?
I believe, was this 2018? I can't honestly remember, but I want to say, yep, published December 2018. So this was
Okay,
literally at this came out actually before the 25th anniversary special, Dimensions
yeah,
in Danger.
yes, and
Um,
this along with that 25th anniversary special is really like Jason David Frank's like last hurrah.
oh, this was, yeah, this was like the spark of it,
Hmm.
and it was like that quick flash. And I say spark because it was a quick flash. Um, it came in hot because remember also in 2018, that's the same year Logan came out.
Yeah,
So we
that's why
already,
this gets the joke of like old man Tommy.
well, yes, because also you have Old Man Logan, well, the Logan movie, but like the Old Man Wolverine story or movie that came out. And then I remember in that they started working on the Old Man Hawkeye spinoff for that too,
Mhm.
because Hawkeye's a character in that for people that don't know that story. But like, so he was getting his spinoff for that they did, and then now here we are getting this like Old Man Tommy, but also at the same time, we kind of got an Old Man Tommy a little bit before with that Shattered Grid promo for the Power Rangers Legacy Wars game.
Oh man, that was money.
When he filmed that, because I don't know if you, because a lot of times like they show Draken as kind of like, I would say younger. I think
Hmm.
I would say younger because when Jason David Frank did that commercial for it, he was older because he had them gray streaks in his hair.
Oh yeah, but and
So this was
I thought it
clearly,
looked cool too.
oh, it was
Like
dope.
like it looks cool that way because
Hmm.
as a fan, you could almost like think of, man, did he just revert back?
Well, and that's always kind of like the question, and like that thing I kind of liked that they were sort of exploring a little bit in Cosmic Fury with Ollie, when it was like, oh dang, wait, your thing is destroyed, but you're still evil. Like it was like a wait, maybe
Mhm.
homie is just evil. But then of course we know he wasn't. But it was just like a that's been something that's never quite like happened before. And that was
Yeah.
the whole thing about Draken. He got freed from Rita's curse, but was still like, no, I'm just gonna take over the world. And he did. So
Yeah, this is during a time too where like, we talked about it on the 25th anniversary, like Jason
mhm.
David Frank was all in. He was all
Oh,
in on this
100%.
respark,
Mm-hmm.
especially, them bringing him back,
Yeah,
and I feel like he was ready to rock and roll like with
he
anything
was.
given. And it's tough, man, looking back now because like he got a lot of like steam for older fans.
Yeah.
Like he got a lot of steam, man. Because I actually do remember when this was coming out. Because we were
Hmm.
just, all about that movie, and even his little brief
Well,
clip like popped us, right?
yeah, dude, that was those were a hot couple years for Rangers, really.
It
Like we said,
was.
regardless of how well the 20th anniversary special was, like that was still a lot of buzz for Rangers. It was almost like a rebirth in a sense.
Oh yeah, like it's
Hmm.
just funny to me because I just remember it vividly of like even just seeing him in the movie automatically, like
Oh.
everyone, like if you watch Power Rangers whatsoever, you were like, dude, Tommy's in the movie, Kimberly's in the movie.
Hmm.
Like you're already like, whoa, this is like really cool,
And the
you
fact that
know?
they were wearing their colors too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like so perfect.
Yeah. So like everyone was like all about it. And then when this comes out, it's like, oh, this is sick. Like we're getting a continuance of like him,
Hmm.
right? And just a trip because based off this and the 25th anniversary, like I think I could see why he was a little upset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like about stuff, like
Hmm.
I can totally understand. Like,
Well, because this is what led to him wanting to do Legend of the Emerald Dragon.
mm-hmm.
Um, because then I think with the Old Man Tommy storyline, after like I'm not 100% sure if he had been kind of developing that first, or and then they said no, but we'll do this, Soul of the Dragon one because he was a consultant on this. So he
Mm.
did help with it, come up with some of the story and all that too. But so I'm not sure if like he did that first because I know after they rejected the Emerald Dragon storyline, that was when he was like, I'm done. And when he now was doing Legend of the White Dragon, and that's how that came to be. Um,
Which, by the way, figures are pre-order for Friday.
yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. They actually look cool. There's some action shots online right now too. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen that
Yeah, I
at
saw the
all.
thing for them going online, but when they would or the advertisement for them.
Yeah, they have some like out of the package pics too.
Hmm.
It looks cool. Like honestly, it does look cool. Like you know what I mean? Like they look cool, especially
Yeah.
because it's like it's the sculpt of the head is the most recent him,
Yes.
which automatically like I'm gonna probably get them.
Try. I'm try to. I'm gonna try
Yeah,
to.
yeah, I'm gonna try to. Like we said, I'm gonna try.
Hmm.
you know, um, but Marcus, so like with this story, I read it and like also they have like I've told you there's so many YouTube channels now that basically go
Hmm.
over comics. And listening to these guys, different ones, they all have a range of times from like 20 minutes to like 45 minutes,
Hmm.
right? I was telling you based off what I've listened to, the couple I did three of them, just because I actually like the first one. The first one blew me away.
Hmm.
Just the way, but I told you before, I follow the guy. Like I think he does a really good job, right?
Yeah.
At making them like it's just like an audio podcast in a way. Um, it was fun. Like to me, the story was great. He went over it really well. When I went and told you that, your reaction wasn't the same based off
Yeah.
of what you read.
Yeah, it's complete because I did look it up what you had told me how you listened to on the comic story. Um,
Uh-huh.
and there is a difference, I will say, because this is the thing. So when I got it and read it, I'm like, okay, like I read it, the story the first time, and it was like, yeah, it was okay, you know.
Hmm.
I just felt like it was a little lackluster,
Hmm.
personal, like, but then is also like seeing that this was like a just a one-off story. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, this is kind of progressing pretty quick. Like, I felt like it could have been, but then I get that with these Boom Studio, like they do these sort of like one-off ones, little special,
Yeah.
and it's only meant for that. But I was thinking like I felt like this could have been better as like a series, like a mini series. Do do a couple like issues of them, stretch the story out because I felt
Why
just
do you think they did it?
I think because one is just going to be a one-off
Yeah,
of
like it was
almost
a
like a
planned one off, right?
yeah, like it's like a hey, if we were to, how could we translate this story? Because the shorter it is, the I'll say it like this: the shorter it is, the easier it is for it to translate over to a 22-minute to
Episode.
possibly 50-minute special, you know.
I also think
So,
too they wanted to get the bang out of their buck that one. And if
oh
you know
yeah,
there's this one,
100%.
like you know how it is, bro. Some people are
A
have a hard
special.
time
Yes.
committing to more than one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like like as soon as they hear that, oh, this is a series, some people back up. They're like, oh, I don't know if I can
Yep.
commit to that.
Yeah. So but I think though, like it could have been like for what it was, like it's good because then when I listened to it from the way you did with Comic Story, and
Mhm.
what he did, he was reading it in a way that it's like he's saying and expressing the sort of like stuff that we have to infer in our minds, you know, like he's
Yeah, he
giving
he he reads
more
it the way I like
emotion
read
to
to
it.
a student, bro.
Yeah, because this is the thing with comics, it's hard to read emotion on in comics because yeah, you can have like the single image, but it's not like in actual novels when you get stuff that like literally describe how the person's feeling when they said it,
Hmm.
or like the atmosphere of the moment. You don't get that in comic books. You get it in images, but they're very still.
Hmm.
So it's hard. So when he's reading it, it's like, okay, but then also, and I think knowing that he did it in God, like 10, his video is like 14 minutes long. And like he spends two of it just kind of explaining stuff and then talking about stuff after. So it's kind of like he did this in about 12-10 minutes. And to me, that's when I'm like, okay, well, now that translating over to like if they were to ever film this makes a lot more sense.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, and like it is in the way a person reads it,
yes.
you know. Um, and that's what audio people do, right? They have to make it sound good to the people listening to keep them intrigued, just like
Mm-hmm.
an audiobook.
Yep.
Um, so for me, that's why I said I like the couple I listened to, they were fun. Like I liked it. I thought it was super interesting from what I was listening to.
Yeah.
And but what stood out to you that was kind of like lackluster?
I think just how quick everything went. And it's like I get that, but it literally went from like you get him retiring, like his retirement party from work, to now it's this mystery with the son, like working for SPD. And
Mm-hmm.
then, oh, well, no, he's still here. Oh, but then he quits. Mystery, just all this stuff. And it's cool, but it felt like it was just, we're just moving. It wasn't necessarily taking its time with stuff to let stuff build.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and then it did to me like once it did switch, and then you find out that the villain was actually Scorpina the whole time working
Mm-hmm.
for Lokar. It's like, okay, but that to me, it turned in now to such a cosmic thing that it completely like to me was too quick of a jump.
Do you think it's because of the shortness?
Probably, yeah. Because
Yeah, I
I know
thought
they're
so too.
literally just hitting boom, 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 boom. That's how I felt that they were just hitting.
Hmm.
But it started off as this like a hey, there's this all these gangs are getting these sort of like wannabe ranger powers in a sense, with these crystals and stuff. And which I thought, like, dude, go more into that. Because when
I
you
also
see
thought it
that
was kind of
suit,
cool of like he's in like heck of pain, bro. I
well,
think that's
yeah, well,
interesting.
but then that's funny. Then okay, here there is another comparison to Logan. Like,
Yes, yes, yes.
it's like oh, he's in all like this pain. But dude, look at this. Look how sick that is.
Hmm.
These crystals are giving these gangbangers like basically pseudo ranger suits, but look even kind of cooler in a sense. But also look at that helmet though. That's definite white dragon right there.
Hmm.
That's that emerald dragon suit.
That's like he went off of. That's why he's
Exactly.
such, yeah.
100%.
Hmm.
But it was just like I would have loved to see kind of that backstory play out more. But again, I get it's a very short thing. They're just kind of hitting stuff.
Yeah,
But
and that's why I don't know, like I guess I wish it could have been more, but
yeah.
obviously for what they were doing at the time, it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like it's weird. Like Power Rangers is very big on like you get what you get.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like I'm noticing that a ton more now looking back now through older lenses.
Mm-hmm.
They're very big on that like you get what you get. Like and that's it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Um I did think it was cool. You know how like when he uses the master morpher and the coin, like he uses it and that's it.
Yeah.
That was a really cool concept.
It's a very much like it's a one and done.
It's a one and done. By
Yeah.
the way, I was very surprised it was Scorpina.
Yeah, that was a cool
Were
way
you?
because oh yeah, I didn't see that thing coming.
Me neither.
I thought honestly it was gonna be some sort of because they introduced SPD.
I thought it
Um
was gonna be like a turn.
I thought it was gonna be some sort of like not inside job of SPD, but someone from SPD doing this.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Um, Especially when you look at that suit looks way more advanced, like and some armor stuff on there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, it's possible, like SPD kind of inside jobish type thing. I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking that. That's what I'm saying when it's like, oh, the whole thing of, but then when they said the witch, then I'm like, wait, Rita, obviously,
I thought Rita too. I
and but
thought
then I'm
Rita
like,
too.
wait, but then she's Mystic Mother, which is still canon. Like she turned good in Mystic Force. Um, so it's like, unless she went back, and it's like, what's going on here? So then, like, when it turned out to be Scorpion, I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. Because let's be real, a lot of people had always wondered, like, what happened to Scorpina, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why she was going to be, well, supposedly in the fever dream that was Hexagon that we learned,
Yeah.
uh, she was going to be one of those villains in there that shows up because they realized they're like, yeah, she, there was never any like resolution with her.
Oh yeah,
She
no.
was just kind of disappeared and we never heard from her again. And like we were talking, and then like her working with Lokar, like we were talking about, dude, like he was such a major villain and such a powerful
Yes.
entity that it's like he was just there and then he was gone.
Yeah, dude, he's one that like, man, I remember him vividly, but he
Yes.
wasn't around long enough.
Yeah.
Like, I guess for a villain, he's technically long, like longer than normal, right?
Yeah, because it was what, like a 2, 3 part episode? Because that was actually supposed to be,
Let's see, four?
yeah, it was supposed to be the
Because he
finale of
popped,
Rangers.
yeah, because he popped, yeah. So he was around for four,
Okay.
you
But
know,
yeah.
and like, man, see, and by the way, like, I'm reading right now that like he was supposed to be one of the unresolved villains from previous seasons. That guy who was supposedly now we found out really didn't come up with anything. He was like a showrunner.
Mm-hmm.
Amit.
Mm-hmm.
He had hoped to be like in Hexagon.
Yeah. So, um, and plus also like Lokar was well, those few episodes, those were filmed as an intention of Power Rangers ending in case it wasn't picked up,
That's funny.
because that's why
They,
they had that, like, at the it ended with them with like that Power Ranger Day at the park when they just want to say thank you, Power Ranger, and then
Mhm.
Tommy's even there when they're walking up, and like Jason stops by and like daps him up. He's like, hey, Tommy's here. Look, he's still around. Like he's not a Ranger anymore. But then we knew what happened after. Show freaking blew up.
Oh yeah, and that's just funny because like the stuff I'm reading about it is like
Mm-hmm.
that's why he was never filmed with his face showing when he talked because he
Yeah.
didn't talk. Just funny, like little things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I thought he was sick, to be honest with you. Like I thought that was a really cool way to like bring him in
Mm-hmm.
or something. That was super cool. The Scorpina thing though is still interesting. Like that's something I wish I got a little more backstory on, like
Right.
why.
That's what. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if they were to as a series, like, or at least a few, like a limited series, obviously, like maybe let's say 5 issues or something. One of the
Or
issues,
go ahead, sorry.
like just saying, one of the issues could have started with Scorpina meeting Lokar and that whole thing of how that began.
Or
Because
they
when you
could have
think
cut
about it,
some of that beginning.
yeah, this was like a what? Oh God, at least in this time, maybe what, a 50-year plan for her.
Yeah.
So it's like there's almost at least 50 years of stuff here for her to like cover, like why she's been gone, what she's been doing this whole time, the plan, given like these crystal stuff like that. So it's like that explanation of things could have been,
Better.
yeah. And then at least that leading up to the final battle between them and everything. And then plus
Mhm.
I felt it kind of just ended a little quick too. Like Lokar just shows up. Oh, you fail. Oh, you failing? Okay, you're gone. We're going back to this dimension, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we don't get no Zords.
Mm-mm.
Like, so that's why I'm saying some of this stuff just kind of went like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. We didn't get no Zords. When you think about
Right.
it now, I'm
Which is
thinking about like
interesting. Like,
we didn't really get no Zords.
and
No.
especially because in the comics, dude, they got every single Zord can combine with any other Zord.
Yeah.
So it was, I think it would have been super dope if we had White Tiger had shown up, Dragon Zord, or
But I also think to it, Marcus, like I think that like why would he almost be thinking about Zords?
no, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like I guess if I'm thinking about character wise, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's thinking about Zords.
Well, no, 100, like, cause see, this is like we said, this is again comparing it to Logan. 'Cause let's be real, what it is.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
it's very stripped down.
Yeah.
Logan had no special, like, there's no plane, there's no, like,
Mm.
Blackbird jet, there's
Yeah.
no, special stuff like that. He rarely used his claws, and when he did,
It like hurt.
exactly. So it's like this was like the only thing we got here, which was taken out of Logan originally, was the flashback stuff to his when he's seen the doctor and is like, oh, like you hurt your back or something, and he has a flashback to that monster that hit him in
Hmm.
the back when the Green Ranger powers were fading.
Yep.
So it was like, because that was another thing that was actually supposed to happen in Logan. They were supposed to have flashbacks to stuff, but they cut those because they said that would have like detracted from the movie of what it was going for and everything. But yeah, man, interesting.
Um,
But
I
I feel
actually
like they
liked
could
it.
have, because look at this. That's the Dragon Zord, dude. That's Dragon Zord right there.
Yeah. I liked it. I like certain things that like I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, man. Like that makes all the sense in the world. Like
Mm-hmm.
using that White Ranger last.
Well, that's the
Like
last one he used, and he didn't even use that green,
yeah. Yeah. I knew he was gonna I mean, honestly, when it happened, I was like, oh, of course he's gonna use that White Ranger last.
right?
Like that's the one everybody's like. about.
Hmm.
For real. That's what I said. I was like, oh, of course you're gonna use that one last. That's that one, like that's supposed to be the best. Even though I was still like, where that Zio? Stronger
Yeah,
than before, right?
a brief. Hey, but what's funny though, I always laugh about this. We got Turbo in this one, but
We
didn't even get
did.
but not in Dimensions in Danger.
Well, it ain't worth it, dog, for them.
I'm just like, hey man, Dino Thunder could have got a little more love. I'm just saying.
Who?
Because even in Dino Thunder, like the Fighting Spirit episode, Turbo
Uh
wasn't there. It was Zeo, white, and green. So
is I don't know, dog. It is what it is. Like, what do you do, right? Like, what do you
yeah,
do? You know?
I'm not a writer for it. So
Yeah, like none of us are. Neither one of us are writers for it. So like
mhm.
we just I guess like take what we get. Um I I do think that it would have translated well to like a film of our show.
Mhm. Like
I think it actually
imagine
would have went really well.
imagine getting this in the style of like a Once and Always.
Yeah, yeah, that would have been really good.
Hmm.
That's something I think that they should have did.
Yeah.
Um, because I think that would have clicked like crazy. And like it's weird. I can totally see why like he felt the way he felt, right?
Hmm.
I could see why. Um, I could also see why they did what they did.
Hmm.
I don't now I will say this. I don't think it helped them, him not being like I actually think it kind of hurt them.
Yeah.
Um, because don't you feel like this is when they almost like started kind of taking a downturn in like popularity again?
Um, kind of because so let's see. This was Ninja Steel. So the next season was Beast Morphers. Yeah. So this was also when they sold to Hasbro.
Mm-hmm.
Because so this is kind of like you're getting a little popularity right now. You're getting some momentum a lot. You've got, but then it's like the movie is considered a failure financially speaking.
No, you're not wrong. Like, I
Like
mean,
because it
which is
only
weird. It's weird though. Like, it's
but
weird.
oh, here's another connection to Rangers and Logan. They originally changed it because it was originally supposed to come out, I think, the same time as Logan.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they changed it and then they switched it to another thing, and if they had gone later, it would have come out the same time as like another Marvel movie. So
Mm,
they were screwed, whichever, like a Marvel Studios movie. So they were screwed like either way. So what they have to go up against? Live action Beauty and the Beast, which these movies, those live action Disney movies, good or not, they kill in the box office.
you're right. Like they
So it
do.
was like, I bet I feel, and they were the strong number two movie, in its run in the box office. But
Yeah.
let's be real, it's going up against this live action Disney movie, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it had a rough battle, and then Logan was out before or right after, and then another Marvel movie. So it was just like, dude, it was rough for them. So,
Yeah. They see that's what I mean. Like they started to have a rough run.
but they had a ton of promotion for it though. Like they were popping up everywhere. They had a bunch of stuff in like New York. So like the promotion for the movie was good. It was just it had a bad release date, and that's ultimately I felt like screwed it over. But hey, I'll say this: we did our freaking part. We went and saw that thing in theaters 3 times.
We did, and I honestly
Yeah,
can't wait till we
yeah.
do that episode.
But
That'll be
so it's
real
like
fun.
that movie came out, and Haim Saban's over here talking like, "Yeah, we got plans for a six movie universe that we're gonna do, and all this." Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
What
hyped
we
us
do?
up.
6 movies? Oh, okay. And we only got the first one.
I know.
But then it's like that happens. But then it's like it kind that sucks. But then then we get that Legacy Wars game. Okay, this is cool. And then
They
the
still update
Shattered
that
Grid,
game.
yeah, and then the Shattered Grid storyline's going down. And
Dude,
then the
that
thing
was
with
the
Jacket.
ticket.
And then it's like, all right. And then we get this like old man Tommy, like, okay, cool. We got this momentum going again.
Remember
They
that
looked.
real quick, sorry to cut you off. Remember that random trailer with like James Vanderbeek?
Oh, you mean Power slash Rangers?
Yeah.
That wasn't a dude. The bootleg universe from Ari Shankar. Yeah,
Yes.
that was
Remember
freaking
that?
awesome. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
dude.
And
Yeah,
it's
remember
funny,
that?
Saban, because he owned Rangers at that time when that came out. Because that came out when Mike was still alive.
Yes, yes,
That
yes.
was like 2015-ish, I think. That Saban owned Rangers again back at that time. He put like a cease and assist for
Yeah, I
that
remember.
to get it taken down. It's still out there on YouTube. You can still find it.
Oh, for
But
sure.
they did take it down for a minute. But what's funny though, tell me he did not take that opening scene from the 2017 Power Rangers movie, from the
Oh,
opening
yeah.
scene of the,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the whole thing of like it's in the battle, you see a ranger struggling, like breathing heavy and all that, like, oh, it's just, you know,
Hmm.
that was very like, I
Our
see you,
friend of
dog.
ours, a friend of ours literally asked me about that whole thing. Like a month ago when I was on the phone with them. Hey man, because it was something he asked me about the podcast. Hey man,
Mhm.
do you remember that? And he brought that up, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh man, that was so cool. Whatever happened with that? Nothing.
It because it was going nowhere. It was just a one-off.
Yeah, I was just like, nothing. Nothing happened with it.
It was a complete. But what's cool though, hey, they legit had Carla Perez, who played Rita in the American footage, in it, playing
Hmm.
Rita.
Yeah,
That was dope.
it's
Good
just
for
funny. I
them.
was like, what happened with that? Nothing.
What happened to it? It did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah,
It was supposed to blow up. It was just made for the internet. But
he's
freaking
like,
James Vanderbeek, we got Dawson over here playing Rocky.
we got the real Mox. Do you know what that's from?
No,
Varsity Blues.
oh, I
Yeah.
haven't really watched it all.
Oh man, I watched it so much because I mean, at that
Well,
time, my brother was literally going to
that
Southern
was
High
your brother's
School.
life. That's
And-
so
yeah, so like it's just hey, and getting in trouble for watching it because there's scenes that like I shouldn't have seen at like 7 or 8 years old or whatever.
yeah,
It happens though, you know.
yeah. It happened.
But Soul of the Dragon, man. Marcus, if you had to put a rating on it, like you, because you're a big comic guy, like you just
Hmm.
bought some graphic novels today,
I
right?
did.
Yeah. So like, what would you say?
Um, if you're a fan of Tommy, I'd give it I'd give it an A.
Yeah.
An A. If you're a fan of like the Ranger franchise, like just as a whole, probably I'll probably give it like a B.
Hmm.
And then just in general, like, because it like if you look at it, like, because it also depends on how you're looking at it. Like if you're looking at it from the hardcore like Tommy standpoint of like like some of it could be a little disappointing. It could be, but it still seem cool. So it's like, okay, like, because here's another thing I want to know: how the heck did him and Finster become friends?
Dude, I was gonna bring that up. I'm glad you said that.
When
How
did?
did that happen?
Because I also know that with Draken in the Shattered Grid universe, Finster like kind of fuses with Alpha, and he becomes like Finster 5. So I'm
So
just
is
saying,
this
like,
their connection to it?
I don't know if it's like a hey, the relation, there's like this relationship between Finster and Tommy is sort of like inevitable, and like it's gonna happen in some sort of way.
It makes me
Uh
wonder, like, and this is, I guess, what you're saying, right? Where like they can't, there's things that they just don't connect.
yeah, like there's certain things that's like, if homie is over here, like this was the guy that made the monsters you fought. And now y'all just, I mean, I get people can change. This is like 30, 40 years later, but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
when did
I get what
this
you mean too.
when did this happen?
Hmm.
That's what that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. There's a lot of stuff in here that if I feel like had they have done a mini series graphic novel, like 5 actual episodes, not episodes, I don't want to say chapters, but full almost like 5 of these instead, each focusing on a part of it,
Hmm.
that would have made it so much better. But I'm also a big like detail guy. I
Yeah.
want to know stuff. And I know sometimes you don't have to know everything, like, it doesn't stuff just doesn't need to be explained. It's like, hey, this is just what it is, and that's fine. But still, stuff like that though, when you have an opportunity, because they could have made more. They could have done, more stuff with it. They could have made it a little mini series, but it's like that could have explained a lot more stuff in there. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, like, if you're like a hardcore like Tommy fan, it may be a little disappointing at first because it's like you want to see some more stuff in there.
Mhm.
But it's also you're glad that at least Jason David Frank got some input on it, because let's be real. I highly believe like he's one of those people like plays this character for so long he can't escape it. But
Yeah,
also
I
to the
think
point of like not only can he not escape it, but he also may sort of think like, no, this is me, like Hulk Hogan.
I, but also like I can see why.
No,
I
I
100% can see why.
yeah,
Like, let's be honest here, bro. Like, nobody was carrying that mantle like him.
no,
Like wanting it to be the guy, like promoting it,
mm-hmm,
excited and happy about it. Like, dude, no one else was doing that.
no one,
You know what I mean? Like that's sometimes what I think in my head. I'm like, yeah, he's doing that because he's the only one doing that
mm-hmm,
at the time.
yes,
And now that it's gonna sound rude, but now that like people get paid well off it,
yep, from all the because he showed like, hey, doing all these cons and stuff.
mm-hmm.
So
start making all that money, bro. Like they're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, cool, man. Like let me get in on that.
mm-hmm.
It's
Like
literally what happened.
yeah, so that's what I'm but like so if you're like a hardcore like Tommy fan, some stuff could be a little disappointing, but it could also be like at least it's cool and he had some input on it. Cool. But if you're like but then also if you're like a just a Ranger fan in general, the fact that it connects to SPD and stuff like that, then you're like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like it's making sense here. Like, it's in the future. SPD is a thing. Okay, that's cool. And it's also one of those things like if you are like a hardcore Ranger fan, and especially one of those ones like a good one, like when you're just kind of grateful for what gets put out, then yeah, it's gonna seem better. So I think it ultimately just depends on what lens you're looking at it through or you're reading it through.
I'm in that camp of just like it's cool that it happened. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, how many people really get that, right? Like how many people get their own
Yep,
like comic book about them, especially Power
exactly.
Ranger. Like, and he was living at the time, right? Like, and I know it didn't go the way he completely wanted, but I'm just glad he got something.
Right?
Like I really am. I'm glad he got something because I thought he deserved it. Um,
Oh, 100%.
and it's fun and it's cool that some aspects also got to play out on screen. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not completely to the way he wanted,
Mm-hmm.
but at least he got some. I mean, man, truth be told, he could have got none.
Exactly. And like, I mean, let's be real. This came out and which was also a big tie-in for Soul of the Dragon. Not so sorry, not Soul of the Dragon. Dimensions in Danger, the 25th anniversary special. Because think
Mhm.
about it in that. So in here, Soul of the Dragon, we know Tom and Kat are married. And I know that even there's that old Christmas episode from Zio and it had in the future, like, oh yeah, they were, they're an old couple now. But this was really like the old man stuff.
Mhm. No,
So it
you're
was like
right.
that was sort of like because let's be real, this is why I like them, like holiday episodes of TV shows always can kind of take a veer in a different way. Like even on like sitcoms, like that just are just a regular sitcom, but then the Halloween episodes roll around or the Christmas ones roll around, and some sort of like magic stuff can happen.
Mhm.
That's a little so it's like, yeah, that one happened. You take it with a grain of salt. But now with like this is saying no, Tommy and Kat are married. They have a
Yeah.
son named JJ, and then a few months later, when we get Dimensions in Danger, Tommy and Kat are married, and they have a son named JJ, and he's got the Master Morpher. So I felt that was a great kind of cross promotion in the sense of like stuff that wasn't fully promoted, but if it meshed well, if you know.
Yeah, man. Let's see. So, would you recommend just people to read it?
Yeah,
All
100%.
right.
It's definitely at least worth a read.
No, and I like that you said that because I think so
Yes,
too. I think it's cool, right? Like if you're a Ranger fan, like you said, you're a Tommy fan, like you almost like have to.
100%. It's
Like you
yeah,
almost have to.
but
Um,
it's also a thing too of like you got to support you got to support.
Yeah, I mean, and now you can find this everywhere because it's older.
Yeah,
Now it's considered older.
crazy. 5 years.
Let's see. So Marcus, heading into episode 31 next week, what are you hoping we can go over? What do you want
I
to
don't
go
know,
over? I'll
dude.
let you call it.
I don't know. I'm kind of like, because I was thinking about that too. I was like, I know he's gonna ask, because I know normally at the end of these episodes we kind of give a preview into what we're gonna talk about next. I don't know,
Hmm.
man. It's because I was thinking, I'm like, this. Let's see, it's 31. Um, we could go back to Dino Fury if you want. Since that's still kind of fresh. Um, we could go into like another season. Too. We could possibly go into like a Neo Saban era season. Um, I'd have to actually watch one.
Oh wow.
Uh, but so yeah, dude, I don't know. And then like I said, like you had mentioned earlier, yeah, I picked up some graphic novels. I got the Ninja Turtles one, the actual like Ninja Turtles team up, so like 1 and 2 that just
You know
came out.
what? I got it.
What's up?
I'm gonna call it. You
Call
gonna
it.
agree with me? You agree with me on this, right?
Set it up.
Let's cover the mutiny.
Okay.
Zed arrival.
Lord Zed.
The arrival. The first like
Yeah.
3 episodes, right? Isn't it 3 episode?
Yeah, I think it was 3 episodes.
Let's cover that. Let's cover that and talk about how like just let's just cover that
All right.
because that's interesting.
It was.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be a fun topic. I can't wait now. I'm just thinking of like, everything from like ratings to like what almost the backlash, the reaction from people.
Dude,
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's
yeah,
a good one. That's a good one.
it'll be a good
Oh,
one.
all right, dog. Let him out.
All right. It's Rangers of the Grid. It's Richard. It's Marcus. We got it. Grocery bag.